Hey guys, it's me, Raven. It feels strange to say this, but after nearly 9 months of complete radio silence from my end, I'm officially coming back to YouTube. Back in November of 2021, I abruptly announced an indefinite hiatus from this channel. I had undergone some deep and very personal changes that meant my own core values and interests were no longer aligned with my mission for this channel. I was disillusioned with content creation and no longer felt like what I was doing was important to me anymore. I essentially burnt out hard and decided that it was best for my own mental well-being and the integrity of my channel that I don't continue to upload anything. At the time, I felt pretty shitty about it. I had grown really close with the small community that was forming here, and I felt like I had let you all down. But I knew that if I continued, I would end up running the channel and the community into the ground. So I opted to rather cut myself off and leave things as they were, rather than making a disgrace of myself. So where have I been? What have I been up to? And am I really back to regular content creation? In order to explain, I need to give some context. You see, I no longer cared about the content I was creating. Don't get me wrong, I do still enjoy fantasy and the cosmere. I still have all the same interests I did back then. In fact, I have those and even more now. But I felt like the content I was creating was empty and shallow, at least for me. I have no problem with videos on lore and top characters and interesting concepts and favorite scenes and all that. I even watch them myself when other YouTubers make it. But I don't enjoy making it anymore. That's not a knock on the type of content, it's merely a personal preference in content creation. Like I said, I still watch that kind of content and I think that other YouTubers can do a much better job of it than I can. I just find no more joy or fulfillment in being the creator of that kind of content myself. On top of no longer enjoying creating the content I was making, I was also exploring a more philosophical side to my life. I've been an atheist for most of my life and never felt the need or desire for a religious or spiritual side in my life at all. I did, however, feel a need for some kind of moral or ethical guidance. I was lacking a philosophy of life. It was during this period of feeling lost that I stumbled on the ancient philosophical school of Stoicism. And when I say Stoicism, I don't mean the stereotypical idea of a very unemotional, kind of grumpy person. I mean the actual philosophy developed in ancient Greece by Zeno of Citium, and further expanded by other Roman philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. It instantly clicked with me as I learned more and more and embraced its teachings. I felt a clarity come over me that I'd never experienced before. I felt in control of myself again, and I gained insight into what I truly wanted to do. This, however, was in direct conflict with what I was doing with the channel. So I left the channel aside in order to more deeply explore the ideas and ideals of this new life philosophy I adopted. At the same time, I was also becoming more and more in tune with the social and political changes happening in the world. I noticed a lot of unhappiness, a lot of deceit and degradation of certain ideals that I once thought good and just. The world was and is changing, but not in a direction I'm happy with. I lost faith in the idea of government, where I once believed the government to be a normal and good part of society. I lost faith in the cultural leaders of our time, where I once devoured and enjoyed all the content they made for the populace. I lost faith in a large part of society that was becoming dark and oppressive, where I once thought they were the beacons of freedom and tolerance. The ancient Stoics believed that one should be active in civic society, as it is our duty as citizens of the world to work on improving it. So that's what I want to do now. I have seen the parts of life and the world I don't like, and I want to do my best to fix it in any way I can. But I don't just want to be a talking head ranting at an audience. I also enjoy stories and the art of storytelling. It's been a part of me for as long as I can remember. I believe that stories are a way for us to view society and the world in which we live. We can look at stories and see how aspects of them apply to our own lives and culture. For millennia, the human race has learned lessons, morals, and values through the art of storytelling. The storyteller was once an important part of our society and was rightly revered for it. It was the storyteller who would grapple with complex issues and reveal it to us through their narratives. We would sit around the campfire with rapt attention and listen as the storyteller took us to unknown worlds and places. We would be enthralled as a narrative was weaved that helped us better understand ourselves and the world we inhabit. But the role of the storyteller is dying. People no longer value the storyteller as they once did, and they no longer believe in the power of narrative as they once did. I want to change that, or at the very least, I want to add my voice to the side that says, no, we don't accept this. These are not our values, and this is not what we want. So I taught myself more about philosophy, civics, politics, economics, history, human nature, and the art of storytelling. These were all things that I had an interest in before, but now I approached it with renewed vigor and learned as much as I could. Now, with my values and interests realigned, with my goals and ideals solidified, I have decided to return to the channel and use my voice to try and examine the world through the lens of stories and narratives. I guess this is a long-winded way of saying that my worldview has changed, and I want to explore more complex themes, ideas, and values by examining the lessons in popular stories. For example, one of the first couple of videos I have planned is about Prince Zuko from the Last Airbender series. I want to look at how he made mistakes and learn from them to better understand how we can all learn and grow from our past failures. I think there is a beauty to being wrong and making mistakes, but our modern world merely sees it as a stain on your character. I want to use the principles I learned from Stoicism and apply it to the very real reality of failure, regret, mistakes, and just plain being wrong in the modern and online world. But I want to do so whilst looking at a character from a well-known story that we can all relate to and understand better. It's a definite change from my previous style of content. It will be a lot more contemplative, philosophical, and related more to the world we live in than the worlds we escape to. The videos will also likely be a much longer form style of content than previously. Essentially, I won't really be part of BookTube anymore. I will still talk about some characters from books though. For example, I have a video on Vin and the Mistborn characters planned, where I look at how we can gain more control over our lives in the face of tyranny and oppression. But videos on book reviews, character examinations, or general lore is going to be a thing of the past. I'll use characters and concepts from some of these stories to examine challenges we face in life, but that's about it. Due to this massive shift in theme and style, I completely understand if you don't want to watch my new videos. This isn't what you signed up for after all, and I don't hold it against you one bit. This is all on me. It will still be related to stories and narratives in fantasy, yes, but the days of lore videos and top character lists are now over. But I will leave all my old content up on the channel, both for posterity and for those of you who ever want to go back and watch it. The channel is taking a new direction, but the old videos will always be there for anyone interested in watching them. If you do decide to stick around and see the new style of content though, I sincerely thank you for your faith in me. That being said, there are certain beliefs I hold that some of you may not agree with. I will not beat you over the head with them and probably won't even directly mention them much if it's not relevant to the video at hand. Other than Stoicism, I'll probably almost never mention it. It's not what my content will be about, but there will likely be instances where I will say things that are colored by my views on the world. I'm just making a point of mentioning this now since my old content never really got as personal as my new content will. You'll probably get to know me on a much more personal level than before. It's just a friendly heads up. So, like I said, my new videos won't really touch on these topics directly much, but I will probably mention Stoicism quite often since I found it carries a lot of wisdom for some of the issues we face in the modern world. I merely want to use these stories and aspects within stories as a springboard for analyzing the world we currently find ourselves in. I'm here to look at the lives of characters and the lives of real people to try and make sense of life and society. So, with all of that being said, I am now officially back on YouTube and will be taking the channel in a new direction. By the time you're watching this, I will likely have uploaded and made public a new video for you to watch, probably that Zuko one I mentioned earlier. Give it a try and see if you like the new style of content. If you don't, that's totally fine. And if you do, then great. This way you can sample and see if it's something you'd still enjoy watching or if you'd rather move on. I have also rebranded the channel and my Twitter, as you've likely already been able to tell. The channel name has slightly changed to reflect the change in direction and to better convey the new style of long-form ranty content. I've also shut down the Discord server. I might start a new one at some point, but for now the current one has been removed entirely. Sorry if you were still using and enjoying it, but it was necessary to make this a proper fresh start. I also don't have a set upload schedule like I did before, but I will pump out the videos as and when they are ready. Basically, unless it's a day that I upload something, just know that I'm actively working in the background on bringing you more videos to watch. I'm aiming for a video every week or week and a half if all goes well, but since they'll be much longer and on deeper topics, I can't commit to a set schedule like I once did. And finally, I'd like to leave the floor open to you guys. I know some of you must have some questions, so please feel free to ask them. I'll try to answer them all as best as I can, but if there's too many, I'll just make a follow-up video answering them all. Please don't hold back, since I value all of you who have stayed here during my hiatus, and I want to bring you as much clarity as I can. You guys are truly who I want to create content for. And if you just want to voice your displeasure at the change, that's fine too. I'm open to hearing all constructive criticism you have to offer. And once you're done leaving your comment here, why not head over to the new video I uploaded? Give it a watch and let me know what you think. I honestly value all your feedback and would love to know what you think of it. Anyway, that's all for this update video. I hope to see some of you in the comments of my new videos and that you'll enjoy the new content coming your way. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and we'll talk again very soon.